Hello there and welcome. So, my name's Ruth. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here based in the UK, and I'm really excited to announce that the enrolment for Artful Stampin School 2025 has just opened. This is a new venture of mine. And if you're brand new to my channel, brand new to me, just to let you know a little bit of background about myself, I have been crafting for many, many years. I'm 40 something, and I've been crafting since I was about 6 years old, and I've been stamping for probably the last 15 years. But in the last, say, 7 to 8 years, I have been getting very excited about using stamps in what I think is a fairly unique way, but it's not a unique way in terms of creating pattern, but it's a unique way of using stamps. And I love creating what I call stamped one sheet wonders. And so you may have heard the term one sheet wonder before. It's where you take a piece of patterned paper and then you cut it up in various ways to make your own paper craft projects. They could be cards, they could be scrapbooks, they could be making little mini books, making scrapbook layouts, all kinds of projects. And what I love doing is kind of mixing up my stamps, taking stamps from various stamp sets and using gorgeous colours to create my own unique creations. So over the last probably about 3 years, I've been teaching via Zoom. Thank you, COVID. That's one helpful thing that came out of what happened in 2020. And so I have had the pleasure of teaching people from around the world, America, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Europe, via Zoom. And this is the first time that I'm launching a year-long program. So this year-long program is going to be made up of 6 different springboards. There's going to be a kind of focus on a particular type of colour theory each lesson. There's going to be some prompts to do with maybe artistic ideas or visual imagery for you to go and do a bit of research on, and also around the colour theory that we're going to be looking at. And the idea is that you get to share with your fellow students in Artful Stampin School in a Facebook group. And while you then start gathering information and pictures and ideas, you are then able to share that with your fellow students. They will then share theirs and you can all be inspired together. And then you are going to stamp about, I would say on average, 5. I don't want to scare folks, but I want you to have a really good go at stamping. And so I'd say about 5 sheets of various designs ready then to use in a project for which we will gather and have a Zoom session together. And I may give you some measurements ahead of time for whatever project it is that we're going to be doing. So then you'll have 2 or 3 weeks to finish off those projects, share those photographs, have a bit of a week's break, and then the next lot of inspiration will come out. And then you'll have 4 weeks to do a bit more research and stamping. Then we'll gather again. So this is going to be like this rolling kind of program of kind of research, stamping, creating a project, finishing it off, sharing, and then starting again. So we're going to do that 6 times over the course of 2025. So in the description of this video, I've already put the link to Book When. That's the platform that I use to book my Zoom classes. I find it's just really helpful because as soon as the first person books on, it populates the Zoom details for everybody, and it just automatically gets emailed to you. So if you're unfamiliar using Book When, please create an account with them, so it makes it easier for you to find all the information for any of the courses that you sign up to. They accept credit card payments, PayPal payments. There's not many people who've had problems with it as far as I know. It might just take a little bit of learning to get used to the website. Also, there are vouchers available on there should you like to purchase some vouchers for somebody else to have a class, or if you've got loved ones who'd like to purchase you some gifts, send them this video. Okay, what else do I need to tell you? So there are two payment options with Bookwhen in terms of this course. Because this is the first time that I'm actually doing a 6-parter course, I didn't want you to feel that you couldn't participate if you couldn't pay for the whole course straight up, because it's £120 UK, £120, sorry, British, 120 British pounds. So I was trying to find the right way to phrase that. And so you don't feel you have to pay that all up front. You can if you want to, but there is an option not to pay immediately, but to go to a PayPal link, and the PayPal link will then take one payment out, and then it will be scheduled to then take payments every 2 months until you've completed that course. Now, I can't stress enough how important it is that you are committed to doing the whole year as far as you are able, because and whether or not you can actually make the Zoom, that doesn't really matter, because the Zooms will be recorded, and so you can go back and watch how to do the projects if for any reason you can't actually make the Zoom live, because this curriculum, this Artful Stampin School, is about being together for the whole year. And so it doesn't matter if you miss 1 or 2 of the live Zooms, you can catch up. It's about the experience of us learning together and being together for the whole year. Okay, I realise that I've talked a little bit, and so I'm going to have a quick look at the questions, see if there's any questions about that. So tonight is going to be a little bit of a taster of me giving a colour prompt. I haven't got any kind of particular sort of visual ideas for you, apart from floral. And those of you who have watched my channel for a while will know how much I love florals. So I'm not going to give sort of, this is literally a taster of what's going to be coming next year. But I have got some rules about how you're going to choose your colours, and that is what we're going to talk about tonight. So what's going to happen is I'm going to give you a colour scheme. I am going to stamp at least 1 sheet, if not 2, tonight. I will do that with you now. And then I will also show you the project that we're going to be making, but the measurement details, the instructions of that project is going to come out on Christmas Day. I haven't filmed it yet. I will film it, and those will go live on Christmas Day for you. And that's my little Christmas present to you all. And so then you'll have, the Christmas, hopefully the break, to actually make up the little projects and for you to show off your stamping. Okay, I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, please do put them in the live chat. If you're watching this later on, please do comment and let me know. So yes, I've tried to do the timings. So at the moment, I'm doing the Zoom event at 7 p.m. my time, but I am happy to, if there are a lot of folk from the South Pacific who want to take part, and the European friends and the American friends don't mind me shunting it to 8 o'clock. I don't mind. The only thing is that if it starts at 8 o'clock my time, that means it's a start for 9 p.m. for my European friends. So it's 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Now they are all on a Friday night, so the idea is that hopefully we don't have anything too pressing on a Saturday morning to do. So there are some folk in the South Pacific, bless you, who will have to get up quite early at half the year. Actually all the year. But as I said, if you can't join me for the live Zoom, it will be recorded and you'll be able to do it again. Now, if there are quite a number from the South Pacific, I will say this, that I will consider doing the class the following Saturday morning for me, which would be the Saturday evening. So I would say if there are a minimum of 6 people, I'll endeavour to do that for you. I'll say that now. And I will put that in my diary to make sure I don't book anything. But I will have to say that if something pops up that I need to do, like, because I have a busy other life that's not Stampin' Up, that I may have to just play with those timings to make it work. But if there are lots of South Pacificas, I will endeavour just maybe to do a second one. Okay. Yeah, so when I talk about the live, I'm just talking about the Zoom class where we all get together. As I said, it will be recorded, and I would love to meet you, of course, Deb. It would be lovely to have you in that class. Or possibly, I'm trying to think, the other option is that I have a late night and I do one at 7 and then another one at 9. That's the other option, because 9 p.m. my time is perhaps a more realistic morning time for the South Pacificus. Anyway, I don't want to go into too much detail of that right now, but I am willing that if there are lots of people booking on, I will do an additional class. All right, hi Barb. There we go. Oh, I've missed you. How is your darling? Okay, so desk view. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about colour now, and what I'm going to be asking you guys to choose. So hold on to your horses. Get started doing that now. All right, so for this challenge, I'm going to ask you to be choosing sets of colours. All right, so I'm just going to break these up for a second just to explain what I'm going to be asking you to do. So the first colour that I'd like you to choose is a neutral colour. A neutral colour. And here I have some examples. I have copper clay, pebbled path, grey granite, pecan pie, and crumb cake. You could also add to this early espresso. If you have chocolate chip from years ago, if you have baked brown sugar, that colour scheme, you can choose any one of those. If you do not have Stampin' Up inks, that's absolutely fine. Please just choose a neutral. So what I mean by a neutral is a colour that's either a brown or a grey, is in the grey and brown families, and you only need to pick one of these. All right, just one. So I am going to choose pecan pie, okay, or pecan. Okay, so choose a neutral, one neutral. Then you're going to choose 2 greens. So look at your greens collection and have a look. I've got 4 here. I've got soft sea foam, lemon lime twist, granny apple green and old olive, but you only actually need 2. And ideally you need one to be lighter than the other or one to be darker than the other. Please don't choose, for example, if I grab a couple of others there, I wouldn't choose garden green and shaded spruce. They're kind of too, the depth of colour is too similar. So if I was to choose garden green, I'd maybe choose granny apple green to go with it. Okay, so you've got a lighter and a darker, like so. Or shaded spruce and soft sea foam. Or, yeah, lemon lime twist and old olive make quite a good pairing. Or lemon lime twist and granny apple green. Either way, you're going to choose 2 greens, all right? 1 neutral, 2 greens. So I'm going to choose granny apple and lemon lime. Then what I want you to do is choose your favourite colour, okay? Your favourite colour. And out of your favourite colour, I would like you, if possible, to choose 3 different shades of that favourite colour. But if you don't have 3 shades, that's fine, 2 will do. So for example, here I have Gorgeous Grape, Highland Heather and Fresh Freesia. So you could have those 3. Here I've got Cherry Cobbler, Melon Mambo and Flirty Flamingo. Could have those. I'm just trying to think of blues. Could have Blueberry Bushel, Azure Afternoon. Oh, just about Coastal Cabana. You are veering in towards a slightly different type of blue there, but I'll allow that if possible, if you want that. The other option would be something like Misty Moonlight, Night of Navy and Boho Blue. Or if you don't have Misty Moonlight, you could just use Night of Navy and Boho Blue. So, let me recap. You are going to choose 1 neutral, 2 greens, and if you can, 3 different shades of one colour. So 1, 2, 3. All right. Oh, Deb, I can tell you now that there is quite a bit of a South Pacific interest. Yeah. So I know what, because for those of you who are on a live, and there's not loads and loads of you, but thanks, Jodie. If you are really interested in Artful Stampin School, please put in the live chat where you're from. Okay, if you're really interested in attending, and then it will show you where people are from and yeah. Okay, let's get a piece of cardstock out. So for this one, you can choose very vanilla, basic white, and if you really want to, you can also use basic beige. I'm just going to grab a white. And before we get started, this is going to be my kind of little prompt for you in terms of what you're going to do, just to lay out the structure of your one sheet wonder. Barb's from Maui. Glenna's already booked. Oh, sorry, not Glenna. Jodie's already booked, and she's from the US. I know. Patricia's US. Deb is Australia. Great. All right, so whatever piece of cardstock you have, whether it's 8.5 by 11 or A4, what I want you to do is roughly just find the middle of your cardstock and put a pencil mark there. I'm just doing this very roughly. And then the same with the sides as well. So just roughly in the middle. As if you were going to like do 4 lines and, sorry, not 4 lines, 2 lines and make a, as if you're going to do that, but you're not going to do that. Then take the, I need to go and get some stamps. Isn't he about to do stamping and I haven't actually got stamps on my desk. Hi Georgiana. Hi, oh, that's wonderful, Georgiana. Thank you. Oh, I forgot to say, I know what, while I'm getting stamps, I'll tell you what I also forgot to tell you, is that everybody that enrolls and takes part in Artful Stampin School will get something stamped by me as your completion like gift. I was going to say certificate, but I don't think you're going to want to just put a bit of stamping with a few words. I will stamp something for you as a thank you for taking part. So yeah, you will get that. What's the other thing I thought of? Oh, I was wondering whether to organise like a bit of a swap, like once you've done some stamping, perhaps we could yeah, organise some kind of swap situation. So I'm just trying to choose some stamps. I really hadn't thought this bit through. I've got in my head what I'd like to do, but not got as far as choosing stamps. Okay, I'll just grab loads. All right. Okay. Sorry, my cushion's just fallen off the floor there. Yeah, so I have to think what would be the best way to do it, because my one thing is perhaps we all stamp something and then we cut it up into sections and then send a piece to somebody else, like one, you just send it to one person. or you all send me something and then I divvy it up and send it back. I am going to go with a stamp that I haven't used for a little while, this one here. Okay, so first part of this lesson is to choose a leaf stamp. And just have a ruler handy, just in case you're not confident in stamping in a straight line, or not even necessarily a ruler, but a piece of paper, you know, piece of cardstock. Because all we're going to do is choose the lightest green that you have chosen, just to do some sort of demarcation. So I'm just going to add my little leaf here and connect that mark to that mark there. Okay, like so. And then I'm going to connect this corner to corner, so top left to bottom right. I'm just going to stamp again, going up towards it. I'm just going to get my ruler to make sure I'm kind of heading in the right direction. Okay, and then this mark that I've got down here, the bottom middle, I'm going to go to the left middle here. So from there to there. Oh, Lisa, I still haven't bought... I have got your lovely ruler in the house, and I keep meaning to bring it in. I haven't done it yet. Every time I look at this chipped one, I remember that you've bought me a lovely new one. All right, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go across from there to there now. So, leaf. And because Lemon Lime Twist is quite a light colour, I'm just doing it full strength. If you've got a smaller leaf than this, that's fine. It doesn't have to be as big as this one. Okay, so that one straight through there. And then we're going to go from bottom middle up to the middle of the right hand side now. I know it's starting to look like a hot mess, don't worry. As we do more stamping, it will help to define this trellis that we're doing. If you haven't guessed, that's the kind of look we're going for. A little bit of a trellis look. Because I know how much you guys love a trellis. So I thought that would be a fun first one to do. Okay, so can you sort of see the pattern that's appeared? We've kind of gone, you know, there, 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 and there. All right. Right, that was fun. So that's one lemon lime twist down. So now I want to stamp some flowers to connect what I'm doing. Might go with Regal Flora. If you haven't bought this yet, it is in the I was going to say clearance rack. It's not clearance rack. It's not called that anymore. Last chance offers. Last chance. So it's in the last chance section at the moment. And in the UK, certainly there's a reduction on it. So, oh, thanks for sharing all those links, Glenna. For those of you who are new to my live and you're thinking, why is that lady showing all that stuff? She's my lovely admin. And there are others, and she has this document that she keeps that she just kind of like copies and pastes. So if ever you need a bit of information, Glenna's usually there with it. So if you've got any questions, please do ask in the chat. There's lots of very knowledgeable people in the chat. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm looking for where my trellis crosses over, and I'm going to aim this little cluster of flowers in the trellis. Now, if you're just using a single flower, that's fine. Maybe think about doing two flowers facing outwards in every at every kind of connecting point. Actually, shall I demonstrate that? Just in case you don't have a cluster like I do. So this is a singular flower. So I'm thinking you could stamp that there and then another one going off down like that. So I'm going to stamp in between, or where they all kind of collide, the trellises collide, like so. So those are the 5 that you would see the whole cluster of. And then I'm going to stamp some top and the bottom there, and then at the sides you only see half of that, and then at the corners you probably just see one flower. So, pop one in there like so. Okay, so please go back and watch this video afterwards if you want to follow along. Right, so we've done Gorgeous Grape. I am now going to choose a slightly smaller flower. So that cluster takes up, let me give you a bit of a measurement on that one, it takes about 1.5 inches up. So whatever you choose to do, whether it's like one big flower or 2 medium-sized ones or a cluster like this, it approximately takes up between 1.5 inches and 1.75 inches of space, roughly. So I think I'm going to go for this little one here, just to have around about the place. So I just need a smaller block there. So I've done Gorgeous Grape. I'm now going to my second shade of my chosen colour. This is the darkest value, yes, Barb. Yep. So this is my second one, my medium, as it were. And I'm just going to have those, and I'm going to do first and second generation stamping. So if you're unfamiliar with that, do have a practice of this technique. It's where you stamp and then you stamp again to get a secondary colour. So this is why it's not vitally important that you have 3 shades of one colour or three versions, because you can do stamping off and that will give you a lighter version anyway. So I'm just adding these tiny little flowers. I'm trying to keep it along the trellis line. I'm not going to veer off too much because I want to keep the integrity of that trellis line. So I'm going up along here now. I retrellis there, like that. So if you do have any questions about Artful Stampin School, and if perhaps you've never taken a Zoom class with me and you don't know how Zoom works, please don't let that put you off. I'm also going to take the opportunity right now to announce that there will be an open Zoom room for 2 weeks over the Christmas period, between Christmas and New Year. So if you are at home and you're wanting a little bit of company while you craft at home, there will be a Zoom room that you can go and hang out in. That is a good way to practice your Zoom skills. You do not need to purchase Zoom for that. You just need to have it downloaded onto either your phone or your laptop or computer. I already pay for Zoom, so I fit the bill for that. And I haven't decided whether to do challenges over the Christmas period. I just warn you, I will not be present the whole time over Christmas because my Christmas is going to be quite busy. But the facility is going to be there and open to you for you to socialise and to hang out and get to know folk from around the world. You could spend the time doing your stamp one sheet wonders. That's what you could do. We could do within country swaps, yes. Yeah, that's a good idea, Jodie, just to keep it simpler. Yeah. Maybe we could have, different people nominated to sort of do the organising. Sadly, at the moment, Canada's on has a postal strike. I'm hoping that's going to be resolved soon. Okay, so there we go. So that was my medium colour. That was Highland Heather. So I used Gorgeous Grape for the flower and Highland Heather, sorry, for the flower cluster, and then Highland Heather for the small one. Okay, so we are now moving on to using the darker green. And for this, I don't need a massive leaf. I've already obviously stamped that lovely lighter leaf there. So, oh, I think I might use one of these. I'm going to use, where's my little sprig gone? No, I've lost one. Ooh, I've lost a stamp. Okay, I've lost a stamp. Okay, moving on. Oh, you know what? I'm going to use this. I know it's not quite a leaf, but anyway, it's pretty. I'm going to use it. So I don't get sad about my lost leaf. Hi, Nicole. Right, I don't think I need all that stem. You see, there's a stem there. I'm going to ink up to the connecting bit. Christmas is going to be busy. My sister's coming in to spend a couple of weeks with us. We're doing a sleepover with the grandkids while she's here. Not the whole time. Wise. Oh, that does sound lovely though. Alright, so I'm going to do first generation and second generation on this. Oh, that is pretty. Oh, I am so pleased I chose this stamp. So nice. And again, I'm trying to keep within my trellis. Keep within the trellis. So if you're struggling to find two greens that go together, again, you could potentially do first and second generation stamping and get the two different versions. Oh, it's so pretty. Thanks, Glenna. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so we've used the two greens, we've used two purples, we've just got that lighter one to go. And I think I am going to just stamp with some tiny little flowers now to dot along the edge of my, not the edge, along my trellis. So one little rule that I'm following is the largest flowers are in the darkest colour, then going, as the flowers get smaller, I'm going lighter. So that's kind of another rule that I'm following with this. So I recommend that you follow that rule too. So just going to stamp some little flowers now along the trellis. And I'm doing first and second generation as well, just so that you've got that nice shadowing almost happening. If you haven't got a stamp like this that's got lots and lots of little flowers, have a look in your collection to find some of the smallest flowers that you have, and you may have to just stamp multiply. Multiply? I don't know if that's a word. I made that up. Multiple times. You might have to stamp multiple times. But that's okay. You'll have longer to spend on this than me. I'm trying to just get this done to show you what to do. Oh, missed one. Okay, that's done. Now, done for that bit. Hello, William. Nice to see you. So, we've got the neutral to go. So the neutral is going to be reserved for the dottage. So in layering leaves, there's a really nice bit of dottage there. There is some nice ones in Regal Flora as well, if you want to use that. Oh, I'm sorry, William. Oh, sad. Okay, so the dots, you don't necessarily need to stamp on there. I would start at the edge of the darkest flower and then work your way again, kind of sticking to where the trellis is. You can veer out a little bit if you want to, but try not to do it too much because otherwise you lose that definition of those lines. So I'll be honest with you, part of the reason I'm doing this trellis formation is because when I thought of the project that I'm going to be showing you on Christmas Day, I grabbed a stamped one sheet wonder that I had done a few years ago, and it was sort of in this formation, and I couldn't kind of get it out of my head not to then teach this to you because I'd already made the project with this style in mind. And I thought, you know what, I might as well just do it because it makes sense to do. It just seems to work. Alright, so that's your first stamped one sheet wonder that you're going to do in a trellis formation. So if I just go and show you the project that we're going to be cutting it up to make. Now there's two options. The reason I'm dithering is because I think you can have a choice. Either you can stamp another one sheet wonder, which I'm thinking of doing in a few minutes, or just use some plain cardstock that matches. But anyway, I will show you the projects and then you can decide for yourself. So the original stamp one sheet wonder that I did, you can kind of see the formations here, like you've got your flowers and then you've got where the lines went. But the little project is going to be this little kind of like mini pop-up book. So this opens up like so, and then that opens that way. So you are able to cut out, you've got from the stamp one sheet wonder, you've got that section 1, 2, 3, 4, and then if I flip it over, get 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces, and then a little bit for the gusset there. So then you have this section here, these pieces here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now that I'll have to see if I can get that all out of all one piece. We might have to stamp three lots to make sure we have enough. I kind of felt that these pieces don't need to have lots of decoration because the idea would be that you would stick photos in this. So it's kind of up to you whether or not you want to stamp another sheet. The other option is that if you were to stamp this, you only really need a little bit in the corners, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'll stamp a sheet with you, but it's up to you whether or not you do a second one. But you could also just do a second one just for the fun of it, and do a third one for the fun of it, please. You know. All right. So if I fold that back up, that was just to give you an idea of how then this is going to be used. So I'll use this to film me making this. Now, the suggestion I was going to give also was that it seems a shame to have made that effort to choose a neutral and then not really use it again. So I'm going to make my project out of the neutral that I chose, the pecan pie, just to bring that in again. And I would suggest that you do that too. All right, let's stamp another piece. So I am going to suggest that you take either the lightest green that you used or the lightest colour that you used. Don't panic, I will write this all out. This will all be on a piece of it, a post that I'll do on Artful Stampin Space, so please don't worry about writing notes and everything. I will write this down for you. Mine doesn't have much space left if I only had big flowers and leaves to use. Okay, that's fine. Just do it again, Deb. This time maybe choose a slightly smaller flower, or if you are choosing, if you do have a big flower and a big leaf, really try and tuck them in as much as you can. But I'm hope that whatever you've done will look lovely, and it doesn't. And it's fine if you have covered it all up. It's absolutely fine, because the project really. I've done it so that you have got plainer sections, so you wouldn't stick. Personally, I wouldn't be sticking a photograph over this. I'd stick a photograph on this section. Okay. But I didn't realise you were doing it at the same time as me. That's awesome. Right, I'm going to grab a piece of that. And because I know roughly, well, not roughly, I know the size that I'm going to be cutting this up into, I'm actually going to demark this now. So this measures 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. So I am going to just draw very, very faintly. I've already forgotten that number, that's in my head. So 3 3/4 there, and then mark 7.5 there. So I'm just going to put a very light pencil line across there, and a light pencil line across. Oh, sorry, my camera's banging into my head. Hold on. Okay. Then what should I say this was? 2 3/4. So this one, I'm not actually going to do the lines. I'm just going to put a little mark. This will just help me as I'm stamping. Yeah, I'm thinking actually, let's stamp 3 sheets all together, and then it means that you'll have spare. Okay? So you won't. So that I do need to say that about Artful Stampin School, that you will stamp way more than you'll need, but that's fine. The whole point is that you just get stamping. Okay, so I'm going to reverse this process a little bit. I'm actually going to start with pecan pie now, And what I'm going to do is aim for where I've got these marks, I've got this line and the marks there. I know that that's kind of the corner of the panels that I'm going to be cutting up. So I'm just going to stamp my dots there. And then also just along the edge, I'm not even worried too much about where exactly it's going, but I know I can do that along the edge. And then that line that I drew earlier, I'm just going to do some along there. And then from this point to there, I'm just going to do a few as well. Okay. Thanks, Bob. Oh, can you let me know, those of you who've booked, have you done the pay it all at once option, or have you done the pay in instalments version? And if you did the pay in instalments version, how easy was that to set up? Just out of interest. So I'm going back in with a lemon lime twist. I know this is lemon lime twist cardstock, but that's fine. As I said, this is the piece. These are the pieces that are perhaps going to have photos on, so they don't need to have lots of stamping on, and they certainly don't need to have the same thing on every single page. As you can see, I'm just kind of going in there, doing different things. I am also not going to be putting the darker colours. I'm just going to be sticking with the neutral and the palest of the green and the palest of the colour that I chose. So I'm wanting to fill up the gaps along this line. Oh, you paid all. Okay, thanks, Bob. Oh, I'm sorry, Heidi. All right, so that I'm just going to leave that there for that panel. So if I bring the other one in, you can kind of see how they work quite nicely together. So I'm also going to get a piece of fresh freesia and stamp on that. Ooh, sorry. Alright, so I want to do a similar, I guess a similar design to this. I'm just going to use the marks that I did here, just to do that again. So I'm just going to do that there and there. Scoot that down. That there and there. So in addition to the 3 sheets of cardstock that you're stamping on, you will need 2 sheets of the neutral colour. So for this project you will need 4 sheets of cardstock in total. So again, I'm marking every 2 3/4. And I'm going to do very similar to what I did before. Popping some dottage, various spots. Yes, of course, Jennifer. You can yeah, you can take part wherever you are in the world. What, just to give you an idea of sort of the time zone then, Jennifer, what time is it with you now? And what part of America are you in? Right. Oh, I was going to do this colour. Or this stamp rather, sorry. I'm still being careful not to ink right to the edge of that stamp. I just don't feel like I need all of it. So this is very much about having an idea, a plan of what this stamped one sheet wonder is going to be used for, and not kind of wasting your stamping, if that makes sense. I'm being very specific here so that the patterning is in the right spot for the project. Oh, just in case anyone was wondering, Artful Stampin School is not going to be replacing other classes that I'll be teaching throughout the year. So there's already people asking me to do another altered canvas one, and there probably will be a second part to a water-based one, like where you get lots of, it gets very messy. What are the other things that you guys have been asking me for? Maybe a spring stamped wreath. Yeah. Was I going to do another thing in this one? Oh, I might just do a little bit of that. So I'm still sticking with the stamp, that the colour that I used for each of the stamps. I'm kind of sticking with it. And I think what's interesting to see is how when you stamp onto coloured cardstock, it does give it obviously changes the colour, or how do I explain? Because of the different coloured background, it changes how you view the colour, but also it does impact how the ink is working on the cardstock. So it's always interesting to do that as a bit of an experiment, to, after you've stamped onto white cardstock, just experiment and see what happens when you use a different colour. Just realised I've not done so much of those connecting ones, have I, on this one? Sorry, the lines going this way. Might have to just throw in a few more dots, which I can happily do. Quite happy to do that. Take care, Josie. Yes, you can just erase that. Yep. To be honest, I was planning to just cut it out along that line, so, but yeah, you can do. Yeah, I do find that my hard eraser doesn't always get the pencil marks off so well. So yeah, maybe a kneadable one. Is that right? I might need to invest in one of those. I think my son might have got one. He's doing art at the moment. I'll bring back my other one to see if I can get it off. I always say that you can get it off, and then one day I was doing a class and went to erase it and went, ooh, it's not always coming off. But yeah, no, that one's coming off okay. That's fine. The only thing is, I'm going to actually leave a line because I've got to remember how to cut it up. So actually, I'm going to leave that there like that to make it obvious. Which side did I start from? It was... It was this side, wasn't it? Right, actually, I've got to put that line back in. Oh dear. Yeah, because I've got to remember where I've got to place my cuts, where to trim. So you know what? I'm just going to pop that back in there so that I remember what to do. Okay. Yes, you can erase it. I probably would suggest you cut first, then erase. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, are you? Okay, so you're in a watercolor class right now, and that is in the course, a needable one. Okay. Yeah. I know geography is a bit of a bummer, isn't it, Heidi? That we live all so many miles away. But as I said earlier in the live, that I'm actually quite grateful to that big C thing that happened a few years ago, because it meant that those of us who'd never used sort of Zoom, the technology that came with doing video conferencing, it just catapulted us into a whole new way of connecting with people that I will always be grateful for. And so I think it just goes to show that there's always a silver lining to various things that happen in the world. And I've had the absolute pleasure of spending many hours in Zooms with various people from around the world. And so, yeah, if you're looking forward to doing that over Christmas, then I will be sorting that out again for you guys to craft and chat together. Or just come and chat, Heidi. It'd be lovely to see you. Okay, so I have done my 3 sheets. There we go. So the trellis one is to be stamped onto white or basic white, willow white, very vanilla, whatever you want to call it. Just a very clear, not clear, light cardstock. Then the lightest colour that you chose for your green, choose that to stamp another one, and the lightest colour that you chose for your colour. So I'm just going to go over those decisions again with you now. You need to pick 1 neutral, 2 greens, and your favourite colour, and you need 3 of those. Now, if you don't have 3, do not panic. You can do some stamping off. So, for example, if you didn't have Fresh Freesia, you could stamp the Highland Heather off, or if you didn't have Gorgeous Grape, you could do your Fresh Freesia stamped off, or you could probably do it that way. So, does that make sense? 1, 2, 3. 1 neutral, 2 greens, 3 of your colour. Hi, Alison. And then you're going to stamp all those colours on your first sheet. That's the trellis design. Then your second sheet needs to be the lightest green, and your third sheet needs to be the lightest colour that you chose. So if you need to get the measurements again for where you mark for this, you just need to rewind the video a little bit. I will try and put in some chapters at some point to this video so that you can skip to the various bits. So that is your first lesson, your challenge for the next, what's that, oh goodness me, 10 days, 11 days. You have 11 days to complete this. You've got to do 3 Stamp One Sheet Wonders in 11 days. And then on Christmas Day, I will show you how to cut this all up. Okay, so I'm going to video myself cutting this all up and making this cute little album. So in addition to these 3 sheets of cardstock, you will need 2, either if you have black or a dark brown or something, then that's absolutely fine, you can go with that. or if you would like to do it, I am going to be actually choosing the neutral that I chose, the pecan pie. I'm going to be making mine out of pecan pie to kind of tie it all in together. On the last one sheet one day, yeah, I left the flowers off, but that's, you do whatever you want to do, Judy. I just got to the point where I didn't want to stamp anymore. Yeah. Heidi, I don't think we would have got to know you if it wasn't for that, was it? There's a lot of us on here that kind of, well, a lot of you started watching me during that time. Some of you watched me before that, but quite a few of you got to know me then. So, yeah. Also, the other additional thing that you may want is a couple of magnets, or either 2 or 4 magnets. But if you don't have magnets, don't worry. We could always just put a piece of ribbon under here to fasten it down. But if you do have magnets, that would be awesome. All right, there we go, guys. That's quite exciting. I've never done this before, and I'm so grateful to the community of people that have supported me in doing my classes and introduced me to new ideas, new ways of doing things, and have helped in my development as a tutor and as a demonstrator of these gorgeous products. So thank you. You've all kind of touched my life in different ways, and been such great cheerleaders, so I really do appreciate that. And so this is my little gift to you, to be inspired and to do a little project over this winter season. Winter for I should not say that, because South Pacific is in the middle of the summer. Sorry, this Christmas season, as perhaps we're winding down and wanting to do something new. So there we go. Oh, sorry, no, you've bought about, yeah, so no, you need to go to the, not the that's just the voucher, Jennifer. So the Artful Stampin School is 6 lots of £20. So either you can choose to pay all in one go, or you can choose, there should be an option to not pay immediately, but pay it in installments, and it will take you to a link. Let me just double check where that I've written that in. Okay, let me just have a look at that. Let me edit the entry. Oh, hold on. Okay, thanks for raising that, Alison. No, not who was it that said that. Let me just go and sort out the button for if you need to pay in installments. Hold on. Sorry, that was the one thing that I forgot to do. Let me go and do that now. Let me just go get my buttons. Sorry, there's a PayPal link so that you can pay it in 6 installments. Yes, it's £120, so it's probably about what, $150, $160? Yeah. Sorry, yeah, it's just taking a bit to where am I saved? Oh, save links and buttons. Hold on. It's coming. Right, ew. I thought I'd already done it. Okay, give me a few minutes. I'm going to set it up. I thought I'd already done it, and I will change the book when, I'll add it to book when in the next 15 minutes. So those of you who are wanting the option to pay it over a period of time, there will be an offline option to go through PayPal. Okay, so I'm trying to think how that. So I think basically when you get to the payment option, you can choose to pay what's called offline. And so when you book it, you then have to either contact me and I will send you the link, or it should pop up when you check out. Okay, or not check out, but once you sort of like say that you want to do the course. Anyway, I'll just go and check that out and sort that out. Sorry about that. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me, everybody. I don't want to waste any more of your time. This stamp set I choose for on stage will be great for this type of stamping. Ah, cool. That's great. All right, my lovelies. If you've got any more queries about Artful Stampin School, please do email me, ruthtrice@gmail.com, or follow me on the socials. You can contact me via Facebook as well. Yeah, it will. If you're paying internationally, it will automatically do the conversion for you. Okay, and whatever fees there are sort of to pay internationally, I'm afraid that that's just one of those banking things that has to happen. So I'm sorry about that, but I hope the whole experience is going to be well worth it. All right, my lovelies, thank you so much. Have a great weekend, and